Hello everyone. In today's video, I'd like to talk about why Apple made a decision to start making its own chips for its Mac products. So far, whenever we go buy our laptop or desktop computers, we naturally assume that Intel CPU processors would be inside to empower the computer. And some people who are interested into these might look into whether it is i3 or i5 or i7, the high-end units will be in there. And this story has been true for Apple Mac products as well. They all included Intel processors. So currently, if we look into all the different kinds of Apple products and what kind of hardware and software it has, it stands out that all the Apple's mobile products, including iPhone, iPad, Apple Watch, are empowered by ARM-based chip hardware, while only Mac has x86-based chips made from Intel. And this actually has been the factor why Mac products had been isolated from other Apple products in terms of hardware and software platform. And the thing is that Apple has been trying to integrate the software between iOS used in iPhone and Mac OS used in Mac. And projects such as Project Catalyst has been there to unify the software. But now Apple actually wants to unify hardware as well, such that this kind of software unification gets even easier and better. So Apple actually announced that from 2021, all the Mac products will include ARM architecture chips instead of x86 chips from Intel. And what does this mean? Just like I said, that will make all the software unification projects, such as Project Catalyst, to be much more effective and much easier. And that means all the apps that are in iPad could be easily transferred to Mac. So in the past, why did Apple choose Intel chips for its Mac products? That was because customers for Mac products had a very different demand and needs compared to customers for mobile products, including iPhone, iPad, and Apple Watch. You see, for laptop or desktop computers, consumers wanted better processing power. And Intel definitely had an edge on this. While on these mobile products, customers wanted power efficiency and longer battery life. This was where ARM architecture chips had an edge. So what changed now? The key takeaway is that throughout last decade, multiple mobile products came out with ARM architecture chips. And throughout all those developments, ARM architecture chips have become better in terms of processing power, while Intel chips, they started paying attention to power efficiency because more of its products, more of its chips went into mobile products, and consumers cared a lot about battery life. So in that sense, both Intel and ARM's chip performance in terms of power efficiency and processing power have become comparable. in that sense, now to Apple, it just makes more sense to move towards open source ARM architecture, where Apple can freely design its chips. And also, by moving to ARM, it can better integrate all the different devices into a unified platform. So the fact that Apple is moving away from Intel and trying to design its own chip, does it mean that Apple is gonna manufacture its own chips? Not really. Apple would still outsource chip manufacturing to TSMC, just like how it does now for iPhone and iPad ARM architecture chips. And by doing that, Apple can benefit from TSMC's leading chip fabrication technology. And also by designing its own chips and outsourcing that manufacturing to Taiwanese company TSMC, there's a news article saying that this could potentially reduce its processor cost by 40 to 60%. That's actually a significant amount. And one thing to note is that right now, TSMC is actually ahead of Intel in terms of fabrication technology, in terms of shrinking all the nodes for putting in more transistors in the same area, meaning TSMC might be able to produce more powerful processing units than the chips made by Intel. And that's actually one of the other factors that made Apple to decide move away from Intel chips. So if Apple moves towards its own designed chip for its Mac products, how much impact does this have on Intel, especially on its business and revenue? So I pulled out Intel's revenue table from last year, 2019, and you can see that Intel's business is largely divided into two, which are data center and PC business. And out of total $72 billion of revenue last year, about $37 billion came from PC business. So let's try to estimate how much is Intel's revenue coming from Apple's Mac product business. So last year in 2019, it is estimated that Apple sold about 18.3 million units of Macs. And if we assume average processor chip price of $180, then by multiplying those two numbers, we could estimate that Intel used to earn about $3.3 billion of revenue from Apple's Mac business. Now, if Intel loses that amount, that'll be equivalent to about 8.9% or 9% of PC business revenue, or 4.5% of its total revenue. Now, that's not a negligible amount, but also that's not an amount that would kill Intel's business. So that's about it for today's video, and thank you for watching. I'll definitely come back with more interesting tech news and tech review, so please stay tuned on. Thank you again and have a great day.